I just want to hope that a lot of women can escape from their own shackles. Yeah, I just want that's all I want. So
Here stands a young boy, Minsu. Minsu grows his hair, wears skirts, and puts on makeup until he becomes a beautiful adult man. Oh, beside him is a girl, Yujin. Surely this scene may look strange to you. Shall we make a slight change then? How does it seem now? Still strange.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I'm here with Yeon-Jeong Choi. She has submitted a wonderful film that is kind of like a cross the way it's shot between a documentary and some very interesting animation. So I kind of feel like it could go into two categories, right? So I think that was such an interesting choice. But anyway, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
And the film, of course, is called Two Women Breaking the Shackles. And I think you really brought something very fresh and enlightening to the table, right?
Okay.
Yeah. You're welcome. So I personally did not know about the Tal-Corset and the whole movement around it. So if we'd like to kind of jump in on, on that subject matter and then just about yourself, whichever you'd like to lead there with first. If you'd like to tell us how you started your journey in movie making first, or if you'd like to talk about the movement first, I'll leave it up to you.
Okay. The Tal-Corset movement starting in maybe 2017 or the 2018, maybe. It's starting from the radical feminist in the Korea, and the background of the movement is because the Korea society have a lot of pressure in the women of the Korean women. So if the Korean women have even a shortcut hair, or if they not doing a makeup, and they got a judgment by all around the people. So I was the first time that I found out the movement is maybe 2017. Maybe I can remember that moment. I remember that moment, but I cannot remember that the right time. The movement is kind of wild, maybe, because the movement participants, they break their own makeup product like lipstick or the eyeshadows. They break it, and they took a picture and they upload in the online. And most of the Korean women, they felt like it's kind of wild, and it's kind of attack. They felt like they are taken by the movement. Yeah, because the movement was so
like prevalent or radical.
Yeah, it's very radical. So at the first time, many women doesn't like the movement, but the time passed, and a lot of radical feminists, they took a lot of effort of that movement. So nowadays, many young women, they not fully participate in that movement, but they almost of them, they agree of the movement, because in Korea, the woman part-timer or the woman worker, they have to put on the makeup and growing their hair in their life. So many women are um,
They tend to agree with it because it seems like there's like an over obsession with kind of a type of beauty.
yeah, right,
Yeah, like if, you don't have, and necessarily here in America, I would say, um, I mean, a lot of people like that look of the long hair, the lipstick, the certain body type, but I don't think, perhaps it's as dominant as like, um, as having to fit that mold, that, cookie cutter, you can be beautiful with just, nothing on your face and short hair, and you can still be considered beautiful here, right? But it seems like and is it in all of Korea or predominantly South Korea, right? It seems like you have to fit that mold of long hair, red lips, eyeshadow, right? So that's what I got from watching your film.
yeah,
Yeah, to a point of like, I don't know, it seems like it's I want to say old fashioned kind of thinking, and very oppressive. And so you have this movement where people, women are throwing away their lipstick, breaking, um, their makeup and cutting their hair. And what has been, like you're saying, like in the beginning, women maybe were like, oh, can we do this? And now they're embracing it more. What has been the reaction of the males? Have they supported the movement, or are they still?
uh, I can say that most of the Korean male, they never support the women. Yeah. So um, the shocking in the film say in the film say they was attacking for the shortcut hair women. So if women have shortcut hair, or if she doesn't put on a makeup, um, maybe it's very dangerous in Korea. Yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, shocking, but it's true.
Yeah, very shocking. Now, just so we get a perspective, because this is so great, I find this such an opportunity, to expand, the people's worldview. You say dangerous, dangerous in terms of women would not get hired if they do this, right? If they have short hair and don't wear makeup, or, for a job, or they wouldn't be considered, mate material. So like no relationships, or is there like even to the point of physical danger? Or is it all three?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, maybe all of that.
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's shocking. No, like I said, this is such an important film. And there's also another side of, so people that are participating in this movement, I was reading a little bit, are also choosing not to marry or have children, right? In
Right.
in retaliation to this type of oppression. So in that effect, like it's really like such a sacrifice to be standing up to this kind of tyranny. Now, the corset, the Tal-Corset, that was something that's like mandatory then to wear previous as well. Like it's just like, for instance, like in America, like let's say you're going to work, like, you know, I would say a lot of women are like, oh, let me, you know, shower and put myself together, and that might include, you know, wearing makeup or something, or covering up a blemish, you know, something like this. But you know, it's never been like enforced that you have to do that, or you're not, it seems like you're not considered a woman, or at least a desirable woman in Korea if you don't do these things. But the corset, you know, is something, you know, that's, you know, something on the inside that, you know, it's above and beyond the makeup too. I would think it's an extra, you know. But so you're saying, like in Korea in previous years, and even up until now, apparently, if you're not partaking in the movement, right, that corsets are mandatory for the figure, right, to kind of, that silhouette is is like almost like a mandatory part of like almost the beauty uniform, let's say.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. So in addition to women breaking their lipsticks and everything, they'd cut their corsets as well. And this is at risk at so many personal safeties and liberties. Like people have been thrown in jail for this
Not for the
movement.
jail.
Not sure of
Yeah,
jail, but certainly other types of
yeah, other types of
retaliation.
attack. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And so was making this movie, let's talk about your journey. You know, is this your first film? Um, did you
Um,
yes, go ahead.
uh, Thank you. I made a film. I majored animation, so I made a few film about the feminism that the graduate film, but except that, I mm, this film is almost my first film, except the university film. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this is your first like big project. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, much bravery. I give you, you know, courage. That's amazing. You know, you came out, you know, with
Right.
such an important work right off the bat. Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Did you have any like apprehension, any fear around making, it's a statement, right? I mean, every film is a statement to some degree, but this seems very bold and very brave, and um you know, you're shedding light on something that really, you know, isn't easy to talk about. People, I think, you know, in the, at least in the States, aren't terribly aware of. So did you ever have any fear in making this movie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's very feared because the Korean society is very dangerous for the. Uh, I faced like the attack, not a real attack, but the uh trees maybe in the past to my act, activism. So, and I had a lot of friends that participants the Bobby movement or the Tal-Corset movement, and when when they when they go out and like they just walking around, and sometimes me and my friends uh, gotta like custom them like mm,
You get like verbal assaults.
maybe some of the men they saw us and they insult us. Like sometimes they speak very loud, or sometimes they just talk to each other. But we can hear that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
um, and yeah, it's very fear. That's why I mean, actually, I'm in the Australia now for a working holiday. Yeah, that's the main reason of that I came in the Australia.
To
Yeah,
get away
yeah.
from the insults. Wow. 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 No, like I said, I give you such courage. I mean, yeah. I mean, talk about really putting yourself out there and standing up for what you believe. Um, yeah. And it's also a beautifully done, documentary. The animation really makes it stand out as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. How long did it take you to make the film?
Uh, Almost 3 years.
Wow.
The Yeah, the making process is not very. It's not take a long time, but me and my teammates are they exhausted about the Korean situation and their own problems. So that's why the process was so take a long time. Yeah.
And so you're on vacation now in Australia. Are you thinking of moving out of Korea so you don't have to feel all of this oppression?
Uh, yeah, I really want to moving out from Korea. I think many women want to moving out from my own country because of the situation of the misogyny in Korea. But but on the other hand, many young women love and me too. Many young women love their own country. So actually, they don't want to leave their own country, like, right? It's in other language and the other in different language and different culture. And so I think, in my opinion, it's not about their choice, but they need to survive in the Korea, because many women in Korea every day every single day they died and they murdered by Korean men or the other people. So I think there is not a choice, but they need to survive. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's heartbreaking. Yeah, like, of course, like everybody loves their country, um, and would miss
Mhm.
like the comforts of home, but you also have to deal with all this, like, yeah, like misogyny, it's just really stunning that in 2025, this is still happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm just surprised. I mean, maybe it's me, but I don't hear a lot of press on this. So I can't thank you enough for making this film, because I think you're enlightening a lot of women and men, because like I say this a lot here, like, the film festival is to support female artists, female screenwriters and directors, females in kind of a leader, producer, leadership role on a film. But we, in order to empower, we have to try to find equal ground, right? So, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be men that hear this and, are equally as outraged that, you know, this, I'd have to call it an atrocity. I don't think I'm downplaying it, right? you know, at all. It's really an atrocity. that if you're walking around Korea as a woman with short hair and no makeup on, you're subject to, insults, ridicule, being seen as like, a rebel just for being, nobody was born with makeup on. I mean, so just for being
Right.
our natural selves, you know, um, I mean, it's crazy because like my mind also went like to tattoos because like I remember like, 10 years ago in America, like if you had a tattoo, it was like a big deal. Like, ooh, that person is like a rebel. Oh, look at how dangerous. They must be in a motorcycle gang or just got out of prison or something. you know?
But it's happening in Korea right now. If they have a tattoo, they have a negative in their, especially female. Yeah.
It's like another thing. So if you're a female with a tattoo and short hair, then oh my goodness. right?
Yeah, and I have a tattoo in my arm.
yeah, see now in America now, like if you don't have 10 tattoos, you're almost like, uncool, so like so, so it's just it's so like, it's so crazy to me sometimes to just think how, society trains us to not think for ourselves,
Yeah,
it's it's you have to be this way, you have to be that way. And to the point where there's, just danger around it, that like women have to sacrifice, like, you know, all the way in the other direction. Like, oh, in order to stand up for my rights, I'm choosing not to be married. I'm choosing not to have children. I'm choosing to put myself at risk by just walking around with short hair. I mean, so yeah, it's yeah, like I say, it's just respecting one another, love thy neighbor, you, you know. Oh wow.
yeah.
I want to ask, like, what's next for you? Do you see yourself making another documentary?
Mm, yeah, I want to make a documentary about the phobia movement. It's about avoiding four things like married and giving a birth, and the avoiding like a in a relationship like that. It's
It's
kind
called,
of
go
yeah,
ahead, I'm sorry.
it's kind of boycott men. Yeah, because it's have a lot of risk. Even in the Korea, there's a word in Korea like a safe safe breaking up.
Breaking up,
Yeah, safely breaking up. Like
safely breaking up.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, because a lot of Korean men, they attack their own lover if she want to breaking up. Yeah, it's kind of normal in Korea. So yeah, it's so having a relationship with a man is kind of they taking a risk. Yeah, so
Wow,
yeah, it's very heartbreaking.
wow. Yeah, yeah, I that's amazing. Yeah, that's really wow. Now your intent is to make this other film, with women choosing to not marry and stay away from men, in relationships because there's violence in Korea, if you break up with a boyfriend. Has it always been this way? Like, in your lifetime, is this like a new trend, or is this like historical? Um, has it been prevalent in the past? Is this something new because of social media? What do you think?
Mm. The Wolfie movement, as the social media is, every woman can using our social media in Korea. So the Wolfie movement is revolving, right? Yeah, revolving at the online. So that many women can understand about the violence in Korean women for the Korean women, and they realize they have a risk if they choose to marry or if they choose to relationship, like having a relationship with men in Korea. So I think the Fobi movement, we call it in a Fobi movement, and
For B,
so
yes.
yeah,
For
Fobi,
yes, for
yeah.
B, yes.
So I think it's the new trend of our generation because we are the first generation that we can choose marry or not, or marry or can choose a single life. So we realize that having a relationship is kind have a kind of we might taking a risk. So yeah, so some of the women in our country they choose not to marry or having a relationship. Yeah.
So the movement is evolving now more online as well. But so it's been prevalent in the past that men had this kind of misogynistic view on women and could physically retaliate. But now it seems that women are having more freedoms now, right? This is like, I guess, one of the first generations you were in, or the first generation you were in, that women don't have to depend on a man. Wow. In Korean history. So it seems like now they're, maybe responding to this movement for fear of their own being obsolete. And it's some kind of just the landscape changing for them. And the kind of response to a more independent woman, right, is what it seems. Why is it called 4B? What does the 4B mean?
The Fobi means is oh um avoiding the four things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of about the relationship at the marriage thing. Is that avoiding having a relationship with a man and avoiding the uh, marriage and avoiding the giving a birth. And the final thing I forgot about that. Uh,
Maybe the
uh,
makeup. Or, oh, the beauty.
the beauty thing is the other movement.
Oh, that's the towel. Okay, got you.
Yeah,
The
the
corset.
how
Yeah.
yeah, corset movement is another thing. Another movement is that called 4T. Yeah,
Ah,
like Tal-Corset or yeah, like a tile. It's it's really difficult to explain, but escaped about some kind of things like um you know Korea have a K-pop
yeah,
culture,
yeah.
and and it's uh and the obsession of the idol is some of the the obsession of the idol is we we thought that it's kind of harmful for the women. Uh, buying a lot of albums and yeah, spending the woman's own time for the idol in not positive way. So yeah,
Ah, it becomes
so
like a worship. Yeah, like having to buy albums,
yeah,
you're saying, and concert tickets and everything. Um,
yeah,
and yeah, you're yeah, like it's yeah, wow. Wow, that's really deep. You could get biblical with that, right? That's
Yeah,
yeah, have no there, have no false idols. Yeah, no, because I mean, people are guilty of that everywhere, right?
yeah,
Instead of worshiping God, it's Beyonce, or
yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
For teen movements, they're also having escape from the region. Yeah, yeah. Because in Korea, I don't know about the other country, but in Korea, um, many, especially church, but I respect all of the religion, but the some of the church they are really harmful to women, and yeah,
Um, Church
yeah,
hurt from women could be. You're
yeah,
saying, yeah, that, yeah, wow, wow, yeah. No, it's funny, like in this country, how much we take for granted. You know,
yeah.
yeah.
Some of the region in Korea they took advantage from the women about their own their own personality or their even the money thing. Yeah. So
Let me ask you this: how how have people reacted to the film that you know? Like, is your family supportive of it? Your friends, like I know you said with some friends, you were walking around and you get, insulted, but how how have other people like reacted to it? Um, have they been supportive?
um, being live with the feminist women in Korea is very dangerous. But in my case, I fortunately my parents and my friends they're they're really good people and they always support me. So ah, and the some of the people, few of the people, especially men, they insult about myself and the film and the other women's, but it's always happening. So I don't care about that. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe a
Yeah,
little.
yeah.
Um, um, when I was making this film, um I expect that I expect the viewers like I didn't expect the viewers to immediately join the movement, but I want them to think deeply about it. Like about their core is to about the goal about their life goals is it, the life goal is not being a beautiful, right? It's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of chasing a happiness, I think, but like why they wear makeup, growing their hair, and or dress in a like a dress like a feminine way, maybe. Yeah. So many of the people that many of the people that they saw the film, they actually they not they didn't react that like oh my god, I need to join this movement immediately. But I I believe that uh, I give the like a question in their life, like I said, why do I do the makeup every single day in the morning, and yeah, and why my hair is very and why I have to grow my hair like that. So many people react like mm, like I was Uh, I think most of the people that see film and my friends and my families, they react like on my purpose, maybe.
I think that you brought up a brilliant point that I don't think we've touched on yet, because um like what you said, chasing happiness, right? And I think, like, you apart from equality, it's also like it seems like society wants to push, and I think this is all over the world, that women's only value is beauty, right? So I think what you're pushing is like self-love, being of substance instead of just style. Um, like, just to add a little personal story, like, I had a friend that every time we went out, it would take her an hour and a half almost to get ready. Like every eyelash, every curl she had to touch in her hair. And I don't know, like, I was just like, how much life are you missing out on? Like, just go, go
Right, right.
you know? And the irony too of like all these things that we call beauty products, it's
Yeah.
poison, right? Have you ever read what's in the on these things?
Yeah.
If anything, they're destroying skin, There's shampoo companies being sued because they make you lose your hair. I mean, so I just so it's so funny, the traps, right?
Yeah.
The traps that people willingly walk into, you know. So, but no, brilliant, brilliant point of just love and accept yourself. We were all born without any makeup, man, woman, and any in between you want to have of that, and just like, yes, love yourself, and with that love, you can go out and be a blessing to others too. But I'm just curious because, like, it really, this film has just blown my mind. Seriously, I thank you for bringing this to this festival. Um, so in Korea, you've been able to show this film like publicly, or is that like dangerous and you've only been able to show it like in your home with family and friends? I just want to get the full like picture of what it's like there, having never
Um,
been. You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah, I just uploaded in the YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good, fair enough. But because, like, yeah, no, because I'm just picturing like, oh my goodness, you'd go out to show this in like a venue, a theater, and men, I would think, would say like, insults if you're just walking around with short hair and they're insulting you. I could only imagine. And I have a question. How have other women treated this movement? The women that are like, not signing up for it right away, which is their choice as well. But I'm just wondering, do they say, we still like to grow our hair and wear makeup just because we want to, but do they support, or have you gotten resistance from women as well?
Yeah, it's hard to say, but some of the women, they actually it's heartbreaking thing, but some of the women is not very neither feminist. It's almost like anti-feminist like that. It's very heartbreaking. And they they said like I like I like my makeup, like don't, yeah. The funny things that some of the women say, don't take away for my freedom to doing a makeup. And it's weird because in Korea, there's no freedom to doing not doing a makeup. So the word that so it's very weird. The word that's saying that don't don't take away my freedom to doing a makeup. But it's still
Like you're fighting over lipstickers. Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's just mind blowing. Like I went to Italy, and there's a lot of violence towards women in Italy too, believe it or not. Like they'll find like dead bodies, something similar that, you break up with the man and he'll kill you rather than let you move on with your life, right? So there was a day, I believe it was in December, that everybody walked around with red lipstick on their face as a sign of, unity, of stop the violence towards women.
Yeah, I saw the news.
Yeah. See, yeah. No, it's just, it's mind blowing. Like, again, like it's not like men versus women in my eyes. Like, I believe we have to be unified in order, and yeah, just let everybody be who they,
Yeah.
the best version of themselves.
I just want to hope that a lot of women can escape from their own shackles. Yeah, I just want that's all I want. So just hoping the woman won't die in the future. So yeah,
Yeah, no, I think you've done a beautiful thing. Yes, to remind women that they can love themselves. Flaws are fleeting just like everything else, and we all have them. And because it's a thing too, I think, right? Like that's something maybe we could touch on a little bit more, is like I think there's such a need for perfection. I think this comes up a bit too in your film as well, right? Like, right? You know what I mean? Like it like, yeah. So, and I mean, it's so ridiculous, right? Who is perfect? You know, and this ridiculous notion that we can achieve that, or it has to be that, or we're shattered. You know,
yeah,
yeah, and it's this pressure to be perfect. Yeah.
perfect, perfect for everyone. And even if she have a perfect appearance, they always find about the like a lack or negative
Yeah.
point of their body or even the personality. If the woman is so perfect and people are looking for that negative like a personality in that woman.
Again, I can't thank you enough. I really brilliant, brilliant, brilliant job. Great job. I hope you're proud
Thank
of
you.
yourself. Yeah. Great work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you as well. Thank you. God bless you.
Sword fight, king of the hill. Fireflies and jars divide, wonder bars and dungaree. Clumsy fingers chase the tadpoles in the muddy pond. Soulmate, wander the nipping shore. Season, quicken their pace. Touch upon the shoulder